Okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Ending Show. We just started up. We were 20 minutes late because we had an internet outage in the middle of recording our episode, so we missed 20 minutes of the show, so we had to kind of add it on, and then you have to eat afterwards and go to the bathroom and all that other stuff. So that stuff you hear in the background is hopefully Piss Boy not getting into an accident.
Holy cow. Is he texting and driving?
Yeah. Just pull over, dude.
Like I said, like I texted you earlier, I need to find a good spot.
Okay.
Is there any way you guys could get back to me in like about 5 minutes or so?
Absolutely. You pull over, and you can call in to us, and we can add you, I think. Just return my call. Just call back into me. All right, so we'll talk to you in a bit.
That was the Piss Boy dumping off a huge load.
All right, cool. There he is. Oh, God. It was the fastest I've ever inhaled a BLT in my life. Ugh. Now the food is like settling in. So, yeah, eventful episode. Fuck, right in the middle of everything, losing Comcast. I mean, Nick's, you won't hear it hopefully much when we do the show, but Nick's internet connection got poopy, and I'm thinking, you need to contact Comcast and get on them. And then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, poof, I'm out. Just gone. Calls into Comcast. What the fuck? I'm in the middle of a podcast. You don't understand. It's time sensitive. But just as I get a hold of them, internet comes back up. And I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm all good. Thank you.
All right.
So, hey, Void. Blacksphere Void's in the chat room. AC Wraith is in the chat room. Jason Webb's in the chat room. Good morning, gentlemen.
All right, so here's the question I want to pose out that we didn't really talk about on the show that much.
Yeah.
All these new consoles that are coming out, PS4, the Xbox, 1, 2, or whatever it is, what do you want?
I wanted to fucking play games.
Exactly, okay. Exactly. You want it to play games, okay?
It's going to play games.
I know
it will. Now, Nick made an interesting point last week that if it can play games and all this other stuff is bonus stuff, then hey, great, why not, right? If you can have a Kindle that can surf the web, why not, right? Problem I have with that thinking is too much is going into the TV part of it, and maybe that's distracting them from the video game part of it.
I certainly hope not. I can't imagine it would.
I would say that it's not Microsoft's job to focus on the game part because that's what game publishers do.
Well, you're talking about games. I'm talking about game features. Yeah,
but the system is the key. Okay, if you have a car, okay, we have a car, and all of a sudden, see, now cars are getting integrated with internet and streaming now and all this other thing there. If all of a sudden you get away from how the car drives into all the goodies that go into a car, someone that's concentrating on how the car drives.
How would a car drive differently? How would it focus less on games other than just playing games?
Oh, let me tell you though. Let me tell you, if you've driven a new car in the last, say, 5 years compared to an older car, they're quieter, they drive better, doors close better. I mean, they make small advancements, and you don't know it from year to year. It's almost like Madden. If you buy a Madden every year, you don't notice it. But if you don't buy a Madden for 5 years, you notice all those things. Like the car I bought last year, it's awesome. It compared to the one I bought 7 years ago.
Right.
And it's little things, but it's like, if they, were so focused on the radio, we have this great sound system. Well, that's great, but I can't hear it because the car is so loud when it drives. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other guy concentrated on quieting the car down and adding dampeners and all this other stuff to make it a nice quiet ride and having the windshield wipers be nice and quiet. So that's my concern is that if they go to TV and they're not concerned with video games, that's great. I already have a TV. I have cable TV. I don't need it.
But I'm just curious, like, that's something that people have said that it's not going to focus on video games. But what I don't get is, what's that mean?
Right.
Meaning that their R&D, their money, their hours, their scientists that have little animals locked up in cages they're doing experiments on are going to be focused on how to get you Duck Dynasty on your Xbox rather than better graphics.
But what does that mean for the games? Like, if the graphics are comparable with PS3 or PS4, like, does that less focus? Like, is the less focus somehow a worse online experience? Is it less achievements, less metagame stuff around the game? Is it less buttons on the controller? Like, how does less focus on games actually manifest itself in some tangible way that I can
That's
feel?
what I'm trying to say. That's what because you only have so many resources, Nick. If I had a pot of coffee, okay, and you and Edie were sitting down at Denny's, and I was a server, and it's like, oh, how can I help you? And you were like, oh, we'd like more coffee. And I go and I pour you a cup, and I pour Edie a cup, right? Now I've used up some of the coffee in my pot. Well, if I go around the whole restaurant and start pouring coffee, when I come back to you guys, there's going to be none left. Okay, there's only so many resources you have, and if you spend them on all the fluff that goes on with a quote video game system, and you're not buckling down with some features, like for example, okay,
yes,
I just read an article in Game Informer about the PS4. Okay, now I haven't followed the Xbox One too much because I got so pissed off. I tuned out a little bit. But one of the things that the PS4 is advertised is background downloading. Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
That's something Xbox has now.
It sort of does.
Sort of. If I go to play a game or do something, it bumps me out of the download.
Well,
oh, sorry, dude. Call me back. Shit.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't add him to the conversation. I hit the wrong button to add him to the conversation. Now the dog alarm is going to go off. Fuck, what is up with my life today?
Shut up. I'm in the middle of a very
Sorry,
important story.
I know.
Yes.
Okay,
very important. All right,
I was saying,
I
noticed about
my wish list, the background download. If I could say, oh look, I'm going to download this demo for Stinky Farts 4, okay, off of whatever system, and I could go play, a football game or a hockey game while that's downloaded. That's the stuff I'm talking about. That's the stuff I would like to see.
Our background downloading that we have is not really kind of background downloading because you can't really play a game while you're background downloading.
No,
like you know what? Exactly what you're asking for seems like the kind of stuff that is easily capable on the Xbox One because the Xbox One can do what I really wanted it to do, which is multitasking.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of interesting apps on the 360. I have absolutely no desire to use any of them because to do that, like you have to enter into that app. You have to quit out doing whatever else you're doing and just focus on that one app.
Right.
And I don't care enough to do that. But if I could play a game and then load up an app and then do something like in between loading screens or something like that,
right,
suddenly all those extra features become much more attractive because, yes, it's just extra stuff that may not be important enough to put all my attention into, but it's interesting enough that I would give it a quarter of my attention.
Right.
And that's what multitasking allows you to do.
But what I'm getting is if they spend all this time on the fluff and the TV stuff and all the stuff they talked about, and everybody's saying TV, they're not really, I don't say they're not focusing on video game stuff, but they're pushing the TV stuff. That's what they're going for. And it's like, so
Goalie, I think that remember something that's important to you is how well it plays games and how it looks. Those are two things that are very, very easily, when you talk about the pot of resources, fixing that is a very small bit of the resources, and it's already covered by speeding up the processor, getting a better video card. That fixes the two problems that you have with the current generation that you want to see in the next generation. Those are easily taken care of. But I can see your point that if they have all these features that they're adding there that are for television and other entertainment, they're not really thinking about what other features can we make for games. And essentially, they're taking a lot of these features that they seem to be focusing on for television and trying to shoehorn them into the game playing experience rather than making these game playing features. I think the Kinect is very much a shoehorn thing into gaming. The Kinect, honestly, except for one or two different very specific genres of games, don't really work. In fact, only one genre of game does it really work.
Dance game?
Yes. That's the only time that the Kinect really actually improves the game playing experience over a controller. But they're making everything very Kinect enabled because they want to have it available for the television experience, and then kind of back ending it to stick it into the gaming experience. Saying, it's a gaming thing.
You said it back in and sticking it. Can you say that one more time?
No.
I'm going to rewind that. I'm so going to rewind that. That's going to be my ringtone.
Yeah, in the chat room, they're very fascinated about what a game Stinky Farts would be. Would you say Stinky Farts 4? And Black Sphere Void's very upset he missed Stinky Farts 1 through 3.
Well, it's a Kinect game.
Okay, there's that genre.
Stick it into the Kinect.
No, but see what I'm saying is all of a sudden the new console comes out and they're like, I can't believe they didn't do this. I'm going to be thinking they spent way too much time on Duck Dynasty and they should have spent more time on this. You know what I mean?
But
it's like there's a small wish list. I wish they do things that they could do better.
Is that you don't even know what this is. Like you're complaining about the loss of something that you don't even know exists yet.
Don't confuse the audience.
Yeah. Black Sphere Void says sports games also work with the Kinect. Yes, but only first-person sports games. I wouldn't consider. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Madden series or any of the 2K games, sports games, but I can't imagine those
sports
would be.
Games really work? Like if you're playing a football game and you need to tackle your TV,
right? Yeah, that doesn't seem. But I can see the sports games like
the only
bowling.
Thing that worked good was tennis on the Wii worked really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say,
and bowling worked on the Wii.
Yeah, but like football and hockey and basketball. I mean, if you got to move around at all, I mean,
yeah. And all we have to do is look at Steel Battalion, the latest Steel Battalion, to see that these Kinect stuff, even if Kinect worked well, the current generation Kinect, I don't think that would have been a very good game.
But you know what the Kinect is good for, where it excels.
Is Netflix, is the voice.
Not just that. In gaming, is with people that don't usually play games.
Really? Does it?
Yeah, like with little kids, like I know they love the Kinect.
Yeah, that's true. Kinectimals or whatever.
It's almost like a gateway drug.
True. Wow. Okay, I can see that. Black Sphere Void says, just because they focused on television doesn't mean that it's the strongest feature, only what they chose to highlight.
That's a good point.
Well put.
True, but again, do you want to, show off what you got going on, or do you want to show off the turds?
They want to show off what makes them different than PlayStation.
Well, then
PlayStation showed a bunch of games, and Microsoft said, hey, we're going to play games because we're a game console, so here's what else we do. Although I guess that was their mistake because by not focusing on games, suddenly people seem to think that it's not going to play.
Well, it was misunderstanding their audience. The only people who were watching that and really cared about that were gamers. They weren't the television watching audience. So when all of a sudden it's like TV and TV and TV and it's going to be TV, and by the way, we're going to have 15 new games, but TV.
But they've still said. They've said that, hey, if you want games, we'll show them off at E3. I find it so weird that if a conference isn't specifically pandering to a gamer audience, that somehow gamers feel abandoned.
Yeah, that's true. We are kind of whiny bitches. We really are.
But it's a gaming console.
We're needy girlfriends.
But we don't have. It's not just a gaming console, and it can't be a gaming console. If it's just a gaming console, it'll fail.
Piss boy?
I don't think so. Console.
Piss boy?
Piss boy, what do you got to say?
I don't think so because look at I always go back to Steam. Look at Steam. What is Steam? Steam, nothing but video games. What they're selling, nothing but video games.
Exactly.
And
except the PC is not just
doing fine.
Steam can get away with focusing on games because it's on a platform that does more than games.
It multitasks.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The PC is a multitasking console.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure the PS4 is also going to do multitasking, just like the Xbox doing multitasking, just like the freaking Wii U is doing multitasking in their own way. They're all going to have their own way of multitasking. So about that, that's already a given. You cannot just put that, yeah, they have that attitude. Yes, of course. Everybody wanted that. That's going to be on there. But you have to think about the games. You have to think about what exactly is going to push it. My question is, how about if you don't have cable? If you're using this as a bypass to your TV, how about if you don't have cable? Will it work without cable? Are you going to be missing out on these achievements? Because apparently
the TV
trying to patent
won't.
Achievements for watching TV.
Yeah, the TV won't work without cable. You need the cable box to plug into the Xbox.
Right, but will the game playing experience work without cable?
Oh,
but here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Then I'm pretty much shut out of luck because I don't have cable in my room. I watch everything on Netflix. Mm-hmm. I don't have cable, so would I be able to?
Yeah.
Would I be able to play an Xbox One without it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yes, you can play games without a cable box. You may not be able to play it without an online connection, but you can play it without a cable box.
Yeah, nobody has ever said anything about it not, being cable necessary.
I would love that. You don't need an online connection, but you need a cable box.
Oh, the screaming! Oh.
Be nice. Give them a little bit of something just to make people go, yes, Microsoft finally listening.
Good news, bad
news.
Just
kick them in the nuts when they're not expecting it.
You know what's funny is earlier this week, I tweeted, it says Xbox One won't work with plasma TVs.
I had to go like, this is a joke,
you yelled
right?
At me.
That's right. I'm like, stop trolling the Xbox One.
That was so awesome, I thought.
Terrible person.
Jason Webb has a good point. He says, what TV stuff actually applies overseas, like in Australia?
Yeah.
Probably nothing.
Yeah.
I'll bet everything they showed is North America. USA centric.
Right.
Canada probably won't.
They're region locked, right? They flat out said the Xbox is going to be region locked.
Yeah.
I don't know why they region lock stuff. I really, really don't.
Because things cost crazy amount of money elsewhere.
But it's we all have ways around the region locks. You just register a gamer tag that's an American gamer tag or a UK gamer tag.
Well, remember, they had problems with that with this generation about when you registered in a certain country, you actually lost some of the stuff when you actually registered back here to this country.
Right.
You actually lost some of your gamer scores, some of your games.
Right.
It's all like copyright stuff,
Yeah.
Like Netflix doesn't have the same streaming library in all countries.
By the way, speaking of Netflix, did you hear that something like 50% of Xbox consoles, when the Arrested Development released on Netflix, the new season, that 50% of the Xbox consoles were connected to that particular show, on Netflix and watching Arrested Development. And something like 40% of PS3s and like 10 or 12% of the Wii U's.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it kind of shows that the Xbox really very much is a viewing console when it comes to the Netflix. They were by far the largest amount of people watching it. And what's crazy is something like of those 50% of people or of those people that watched it on consoles, something like 10 to 15% of people watched all episodes, just binge watched them before the next day.
I find that really crazy. Like, I've been watching a lot of Arrested Development, but I've started from the beginning because I forgot a whole lot of it. Mm-hmm. But like, I can watch maybe 3-4 a day,
right? And
that feels like a lot,
right?
I just can't imagine watching all that in one sitting.
No, but I've sat and watched entire 26 episodes of an anime all sitting at once.
Really?
Yeah, same here. Yeah. I have. Same too. Especially
crazy.
if it's a good anime, you watch
the whole thing.
But don't you just get tired after a while?
No.
But
like
that's a
the
TV
longest
that's okay,
thing
though.
I've ever watched is all the Lord of the Rings back to back to back.
But you have to remember that the
my
the
God.
animes and television series, specifically really good animes, tend to put a teaser, a cliffhanger at the end of every episode to compel you to stick around for the next week.
No, I could see that.
So
yeah.
it makes you go, oh, what's going to happen? So then you watch it and it's like, okay, that got resolved. And oh, there's another cliffhanger. Got to watch the next episode. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, but that's when, like I say, to watch Netflix and Hulu and Vudu and things like that. I mean, that's what's great about the Xbox. Because but as far as actual TV, it's redundant to have a cable. Like I said, if you don't have a cable box, you're probably not going to be able to watch any of these things anyway.
Right.
So it's redundant if you need a cable box to watch cable TV on your Xbox. It's redundant.
Well, I think they're trying to appeal to all people. If you have a cable box, you can use this to navigate, and if you don't, it'll have apps like Hulu and Amazon and Netflix.
And Blacks for Void points out that Arrested Development, how ironic that mini gamers feel that is what the Xbox One is suffering.
Oh,
nice. that actually hit me as well. That for all the people that were complaining about having TV connected to your Xbox, 50% of the Xboxes out there were watching Arrested Development when it premiered.
Yeah, I do. I use it as my Netflix machine, even though the UI on Netflix on the Xbox is worse than it is on the PS3. I use it on the Xbox because I like the Kinect voice command.
Exactly. It's we complain, but then when we use it for what the Xbox does currently have, we're actually playing into their hands of what they're supposed to be offering for the Xbox One.
Well, it's because I think they're giving people what they don't know they want, and I think they just failed to make a good case for it.
Right.
I don't know. Every time I think of that, though, like when you're saying Xbox, Netflix, Arrested Development, Play, or whatever it is, it reminds the thing that comes to mind is remember that Leslie Nielsen movie, Dead and Loving It, when he was the vampire and he was trying to control the women's minds, like, you put down this over here, you come here. No, not you. You stay there. No, you put down the comb. No, wait, no, not you. You. No, you go. You come here. You. No, wait. You sit down. No, not you. But I mean you. It just hit the button. You have a controller. And A button, B button. Done.
No.
Done.
There are times like that. Well, I'll be sitting here and I'll go, Xbox, pause. And it keeps playing.
Xbox, pause.
Playing. It's like I lean forward and speak into the Kinect, Xbox, pause. And then it does it. It's like,
actually, what I do is I actually pick up the controller and hit mute so I could go Xbox, pause.
Instead of pressing pause on your own. Nice.
Right, instead of actually pressing pause. Well, here's why why the controller is kind of a pain in the ass for controlling Netflix is that it times out. So you're watching a 30-minute show and then it's like, it's not doing what I want to, so then you have to click
and then when you
there's something I want. There is something I want for the fucking Xbox One that would make me happy is a controller that if it turns off, when you turn it back on, it turns on right away instead of sits there and flashes. It's like, am I connected? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I hated.
Sort of.
Like, a low power state or something.
Yeah, now I'm connected. All right, now I'll take your order. It's like, no, just turn back. Just let me hit the button and it turns it back on.
Well, now I don't want to pause. Fuck you, controller.
Yeah. Now I'm 2.5 minutes later after I wanted to pause. Now you need to rewind. Yeah. So I think that's important. I think the speed, God, I get it every single time. It's almost the reason why I don't go into Netflix anymore is it takes so fucking long to load Netflix onto the Xbox 360, which will be improved by the better processor.
This is what I always do.
Actually, I think it's better now.
Well, what I do is because... Oh, go on.
What were you saying, Steve?
No, I said I think the speed has improved on it because remember before it used to take like over a minute, and now the speed on it to connect it into Netflix not that bad.
No, it's still bad.
You know what? I noticed that now
it
never asks me if I want to connect to Netflix or Netflix for Kids.
It does. It does for me. Really? Well, not when I load up, but if I go back out and come back in. No, it does ask me that. It does ask me that.
Really?
Yes.
It
Absolutely.
never asks me.
Well,
It has.
Because basically what I always do, I turn on the TV and I'll just sit there on the channels and then I'll turn on the Xbox and I'll wait for the Xbox to boot up. And then as I'm watching TV, I'll just say Xbox apps Netflix. And because I can control the UI through the Kinect without having to, switch input over to the Xbox, I can launch Netflix without actually having to look at it. So when I flick over to the Xbox, I'm already in Netflix. Huh. So the time it takes to load is meaningless. I don't notice it.
Right. Yeah. I notice it because I don't really start Netflix using the Kinect. I'll use it once I'm in, fast forward and play and pause and rewind. But I won't really use it to launch anything. So I actually launch it through the controller and then start using it.
I use to launch everything. Like I'll say Xbox recent, Monaco.
Wow.
Boom, I'm in.
Wow.
'Cause it's easy, and I don't have to lean over and pick up the controller. It gives me just a couple extra seconds to sit in the chair.
And that right there, that little story also backs up the decisions that Microsoft is making about Xbox One. That if you're using it the way you're using it because you have two separate boxes, but if they're the same box, it does, and you can use it the same way. How awesome is that?
Yeah, that would be cool. I would like they said, they have a low power state because there's this expectation that you'd keep it on all the time. And I think that's kind of cool. I keep my PC on all the time.
Jason Webb says, is your Xbox on? It is now.
See, I don't keep my stuff on all the time. You hear the stories about the Xboxes catching on fire and burning down houses and shit like that. I don't.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't. I don't leave anything on when I leave the house. Maybe my PC goes into a sleep mode.
Yeah, that's what my PC does.
But too. I'm not going to leave my. In fact, I purposely, if I have the choice of watching Netflix on Roku or Xbox, I go to Roku because I don't want to burn out the Xbox. I seriously think that.
All right, so that adds to the wish list. We want an Xbox that runs cooler and that doesn't burn up. And
I know that it will go into a sleep mode. Like, that's what the whole Xbox on thing is that you're meant to leave the Xbox on, and after a while, it'll go to sleep like a PC, a low power state. But it's still on and listening for voice commands like Xbox on. Mm-hmm. But you can actually then turn it all the way off and shut it down like a PC.
Right.
So imagine just a PC that you can
turn
on.
So your Kinect is always listening, always there.
Yes.
Always listening and watching.
It's always bugged.
Yep.
It's always watching.
You're bugging your own house.
Oh,
and eventually it will come
did
you
you
sleep.
Yeah, Steve?
Did you see the article that I put up there about I think it was Germany who has questions about the privacy on it, how the Xbox is going to be spying and in a way into people's living rooms?
Yeah, it was. We actually mentioned it in the show that the Federal Commissioner for Data Protection for Freedom of Information in Germany, his name is Peter Scharr, said that he's super concerned. In fact, he considers it a monitoring device that people are going to be that Microsoft is selling a monitoring device for people under the auspices of being a game console. And that what it is it's always in your house, always listening. And of course, Germans have very good reasons to be concerned about Big Brother watching and concerned about what's going on in their homes. They're super sensitive to that stuff. So Germany's pretty not okay with the whole Kinect. They're essentially Goalie right now. Like, I don't want it in my home. I don't want it watching. I don't want it listening. I just don't want it. And there are
if they're concerned, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more people around also going to be concerned. And I really hope that Microsoft takes note of that, because it would be nice if there would be an off button to the Kinect, so it actually doesn't even do that.
Right. There apparently is an off button. In fact, Stephen Totilo was talking to, I forget who he was talking to, but he was a report that said that there's going to be an off button, so you can have it connected but turned off. But they were very not answery about where this button might be, and is it something that's difficult to get to, or something that's easy to get to, or
it actually installs itself on your roof.
Yeah. Is it inside the Curiosity Cube? Do you have to like?
No, the button's actually inside the Xbox.
So,
Open it up.
and if you turn it off, does that mean that you can't use the game? Like you could turn it off when it's not being used using your game, or do you need to have it turn it on to play, or can you leave it turned off and just connected? So what's the story, Morning Glory? And they were very not answery in that not answery way they've been.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing is that they're so not answering. It's like they've had all this extra time to like focus what they're doing in response to Sony, and yet it seems like they're totally just making shit up as they go along.
Right.
It's like, yeah, it takes a fee. No, it doesn't take a fee.
Sure, it doesn't. No.
No, it's like you have no idea what you're talking about, do you?
Yeah, they're kind of like a insecure sorority girl. Today I'm this, tomorrow I'm this. No, really, no, like me, please like me, please like me.
Yeah.
Also, completely and totally unrelated. Found a new television show.
What?
It holds a lot of promise, but it's not really done very well. But it's a great idea, and I'm hoping that they see their shortcomings. It's on Spike, and it's called Never Ever Do This at Home. And you know how on the back of the warning, or people have ever said, whatever you do, never do this at home. Do not use a dryer in the bathtub. Don't put your radio on the side of the bathtub. Whatever you do, God, do not throw an aerosol can into a barbecue. They do all this stuff to see exactly what happens when you do these things. And I watched it, just debuted last night, and I watched 2 episodes, and it's good. It's not great, but it's pretty hilarious. Let's see, they take the doors off of a bunch of microwaves, and they load the microwaves up on 2 sides of this small bathroom, and then they put tinfoil on all the walls and the floors and the ceiling, and then they put it on the back of the door and and then they stand outside and they start the microwaves and stick a frozen fish in the center of the room to see if it will defrost. They can essentially turn the bathroom into a giant microwave. And they bring in a microwave expert saying, should we be doing this? And he's like, fuck no. This is incredibly dangerous, but technically, theoretically, yes, this will work. But nobody should ever take the door off their microwave and then start it. And of course, they run it. They didn't say how long they run it for, but they come up to the door and they put their hands on the door and like, holy crap, the door's hot. Oh no! They go in and there's the fish, totally defrosted, a full huge fish.
See what you're doing? See what you're doing right now?
What?
You are Xbox One. We're not talking video games. We're talking TV. See, it's already in your head.
You gotta. I've been wanting to tell you about this.
Watch TV.
I've been wanting to tell you about this show for the last week, and now I finally get to tell you. I'm just very excited.
I know you're excited, but this is not the time nor the place.
Well, when is the time?
I don't know. Considering the past conversations we've had, this is entirely the time and place.
Exactly. Thank you.
Our Game of Thrones episode.
Right. It's not a happy endings if we don't talk about TV at some point.
Exactly.
They did throw a can of starter fluid onto a barbecue. They set off fireworks in the house. They played baseball with a pitching machine inside the house. What else did they do that was really pretty funny? They put an egg in the microwave, which is pretty great. They heated unopened cans of soup on a stove, which was hilarious. But I wish that they just did a little bit more background of like what exactly is happening and why this is a bad idea. A little more myth-bustery, but
a little more science.
Yeah, a little more science and not so much like, blow things up. And then they do that one thing that I hate on shows is they will, in their coming up next part, they show what happens.
Oh.
They show somebody, taking an egg, and it's like, oh, we're going to stick an egg in the microwave. And then they close the door, and then they show the microwave door blowing off. It's like, oh, come on. Well, now I don't need to see it. I'd like to have some kind of, surprise when the door blows out. So yeah, it's never, ever do this at home. It's on Spike. It's okay, but it's a hilarious idea. You were so pissed, Goalie. Look at you. What are you? Are you anti-TV now?
No,
what do you do?
I don't want chocolate in my peanut butter.
Okay, so we're never going to talk about television on a Happy Endings again?
No. Let's go from game hounds to TV hounds, to boob hounds. That's fine.
Goalie, you and I have both had long conversations about Bar Rescue on this show.
Do you see what it's doing to us right now? It's breaking up the band. It's breaking up the band. I'm online right now.
You just said you haven't talked about Honey Boo Boo.
I'm searching podcasts right now.
Mr. Honey Boo Boo, who have not only brought it into Happy Endings, he brought it into our show. We've had Honey Boo Boo updates from you in the news.
And that brought ratings, didn't it?
Oh, no.
What you're doing is people are turning. I just went online. Everybody tuned out. There's not one person left in the room.
That's Black Sphere Void. There's Nick.
Exactly.
Oh, wait,
that's what I'm
Nick's
talking
here.
about.
Shit. Okay.
He's in here just trying to get his comedy routine going. That's all he's doing.
Oh, is that it? He wants to do his. All right, no, because I see Black Sphere Void texting a lot. Jason's kind of quiet, and then who else was in
They
here?
all fell asleep. Either that or they tuned out.
No, they did not. No, you guys did not. You wanted to hear. Come on, seriously, it's things blowing up. They put a rheostat on a rotisserie full of vegetables, which was pretty funny. No, they did. Everybody else did drop. Really? There we go.
Nice job.
Dave the Tech is in the room. Really? Really, Dave the Tech? Shut up, Nick, with the Z's across the chat screen. All right, fine. Well, then we'll talk about what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about, Smarty Pants?
I want to talk about Arrested Development.
Okay. How was it?
It's really good. Although, you know what? I'm surprised at how much of what I remember is from the first season. I don't think I actually watched the second or third season.
Really?
Yeah. Which is a shame, but plenty of new stuff then. New content now.
Is it as funny?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I
At least
didn't
the
watch
first season is. It's has funny.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the old Arrested Development. I'm talking about the new Arrested Development.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, well, then fuck. You're reviewing something that's 7 years old? Fuck you.
Yes.
I'm with Goalie. I'm shutting up here.
Fuck TV.
Here you go. Hold on a second. Here you go. In the chat room. There you go, Nick. All for you. Here's your line of Z's reviewing a 7-year-old television show.
When I start watching Breaking Bad, I'll let you know what I think of the pilot.
Stop. Just stop. We have taken control of your minds. You will watch TV on the Connect. We will judge you for what you watch, and we will record it on our database. You have been warned.
You know what really pissed me off is that there was no new Game of Thrones this week.
No.
They just showed that behind the Candelabra movie.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it.
Yes, you got bumped by, you got photo bombed, so to speak, video bombed, show bombed.
Bumped by
Liberace.
God damn it. I was so angry about that.
Yeah.
It makes me not want to watch TV anymore. Just play games.
Now you're going to cross your arms. You're going to take your toys and go home. What else did I wanted to tell you guys about? There was something else that came up. Bar Rescue, no. Gully, what you been watching?
Aww.
Well, what you been watching?
I've just been watching the NHL playoffs. That's all I know. I watch playoffs, and then I've been playing some of my games. Actually, AC Wraith gave me a gifted version on Steam of a free game. Thanks. It was so nice of him. I'm kidding. No, he gave me Killers or Killing Floors, and I tried. It's like a zombie killing game. I tried to play it, but it had no controller support. It was just keyboards. So I immediately went into the first room and looking down at the keyboard trying to move, and I just got destroyed. So
I just realized this about Steam. So like I said, he gifted me the trading card thing, and when you look at trading cards, they appear in your inventory. And when I went there, I realized I actually have a game in my inventory. And I think it's because I bought some type of bundle, indie bundle, that gave me a second copy of this game. And it put that second copy into my inventory. And now I can actually trade it or gift it to people. And I didn't know that's what happened to games that you buy a second time on Steam.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you can get, when you buy the indie bundle, if you like, say, a bundle of stuff and you already have the game, you can gift it.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, no, Steam just works.
Anything that you actually buy from Steam, you could actually just put in inventory and actually play later or gift it to anybody. You don't have to download and play right away.
Well, most of the stuff I don't install everything, but I just have it all in my library. But yeah, I have a copy of this game in my library and a copy in the inventory, and that kind of blew me away.
Andy Shao just gave me a suggestion for a anime that I should start watching. That's on right now and pretty hot in Asia. Attack on Titan.
There was one that I heard that was really good. It's like a sci-fi cyberpunk type thing. I forgot what it's called. I had a list of
that could be anything.
Stuff.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started
like
watching Trigun.
List. Oh, that's an old one.
Yeah, I know.
And here you give me crap for talking about Arrested Development.
I know, but I'm just that's all I said. I started watching Trigun.
What'd you think of it?
First 5 episodes.
I don't want to hear what you think about a 10-year-old
I didn't like
anime.
because they were just stupid, and then now that it started to get get serious, it's actually kind of cool. Let's see. Jason Webb said, "Hey, I guessed it the other week. SimCity is fixed for the most part anyway. Leaderboards are back up and search is fixed." Yeah, but I have heard that the traffic now, when they quote unquote fixed the traffic, they just fucked it up even worse because now you reach a critical mass in your city and your traffic there's nothing you can do to save it. It just kills your city. I've been meaning to go back to
not just that,
SimCity.
also the sewers.
The what?
Also the sewer. The sewer systems also got messed up too.
Oh, you don't want that.
I should really go in and see how Goalyville or whatever was that place that I wrecked the region. I didn't mean to wreck your city.
I couldn't figure it out. It was a little deep for me. I played and I had my fun, but I just wasted $60 because I knew it was way too deep for me.
Yeah, it's a pretty deep game, but I have actually been feeling very itchy for it lately, and I keep on thinking, I gotta turn off my computer so I can.
That's
boot
an
it up
expansion already.
Really? What's the expansion?
It has an amusement. It's this amusement park expansion now. You could actually add some parks to it.
Yeah, I remember seeing
that's
that.
kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, I have been meaning to go back and play around with it. So.
Yeah, and there's also a new area that you could actually go to now. They added another area to it. That's mostly all around, it's like seaside or something. I think it's up to 4 little areas in one.
Nice.
It looks pretty neat.
Let's see. Oh, that was patch 2.0. They're up to patch 4.0 now. Rain clouds also refill the water table. Oh, thank God. Now I wish I hadn't just totally killed my other city that ran out of water. Because I totally ran out of water. And it's like, what else? What am I going to do? If I'm out of water, you reach a dead end. You can't undo that.
Is it still $60?
I told you how I did it in mine.
Probably. I tried it, and it did not work for me. Placing the sewer system next to the water table. No, I did not have success with that at all. There's an ointment for that, Edie. He says, "Thank you." What else is going on that's gonna? So we were talking a little bit earlier about porn. There's a really good YouTube video that I sent to Goalie about lesbians watching lesbian porn and offering their opinions of how realistic it is, and it's not. Sorry, Goalie. Lesbian porn is not made for lesbians. But curiously enough, gay porn is made for gay men, which just makes me feel completely left out.
No one cares what women think.
Nobody actually, okay. And there truly is no such thing as real lesbian porn, because lesbian porn it's apparently not any lesbian porn for lesbians. Lesbian porn is for men, and gay men porn is for gay men, and straight porn is for straight men.
Yeah, because if it was like lesbian porn, like real for lesbians, they'd be like just in the kitchen, like making dinner and putting flower arrangements together and shit, right?
What?
No, wouldn't they be going to Home Depot?
That's what.
Yes, they would be going to Home Depot. Yes, they would be. They would be fucking each other for hours on top of a big pile of lumber at Home Depot. That's exactly what they would be doing.
They would just be doing stuff around the house. That's what women like to do, right?
They'd be cleaning.
I mean, like vacuuming together.
They vacuum together. You can call it that. You might call it vacuuming, but not the way you're thinking about it.
Oh.
So what else is new with you guys? Are we really going to have a half-hour Spreaker show for once?
I don't know.
Did
you hear the news about?
We should delete this
Blizzard?
one. This is the worst.
Blizzard, yeah, that they stopped. They're not making an MMO. I mean, they are. They had
but
to.
They're going back to scratch, starting over.
And you're not going to see anything till 2016. But they had 250 people working on it, and then they fired everybody, and they're down to 30. And now
I don't think they fired them because I thought they just moved them to other projects.
Right. Well, fired them off the project.
Yeah. Well, that's different. I mean, they didn't lose their job. They just went to different projects.
So they cut back to 30, and now they're. I guess they said that we're starting from scratch. Hate that one, but then that's Blizzard. They get to do that because they have more money than God.
And I guess it makes sense because maybe
lost him again.
Who?
Piss Boy. Piss Boy's been up and down.
Maybe they made it because MMOs have changed in the past couple of years, and when they started that, they probably started how long ago did we first start hearing about Titan?
God, well, maybe not 7 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's the problem with them, is that they are so slow in making their games.
And then when they get done, they're like, that's
right. That they're so used to being, I don't know, I guess it's hubris on their part. That they think, well, we'll make a game and we'll take our time and we're going to make it perfect. But then, there's this thing called technology. And they
also have the benefit of, well, maybe not benefit of being able to do that because they have the constant income of WoW.
Right. Yeah, they don't need to do anything. They just sit there and watch the money roll in. I can't believe that there was a PAX one year that I asked the guy from Blizzard if they really wipe their asses in the company bathroom with $100 bills.
What was the answer?
He's like, no. 20s.
Oh.
No, he didn't say that. I would have given him huge props for saying that. He's like, no, we do not wipe our butts with money. So, God,
I agree
really?
With Blacksphere, looking forward to Elder Scrolls and Fallout on
Xbox
next
One.
Gen. I did hear a rumor. It's only a rumor. I can guarantee that the next Fallout would be an Xbox One exclusive.
Oh,
that would be a coup, certainly.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
I can't imagine Bethesda actually doing
that. I don't want to say that might make me buy the console, but it sort of might, maybe.
It would certainly be a big incentive.
It would be a consideration. In fact, today that was one of the things I did this weekend because we had the garage sale that everything we needed to get, old stuff. We kind of do it earlier this month, so at the end of the month we can sell the old pieces, the electronics and stuff. And we actually had to get a whole new receiver because we didn't have enough inputs because we're not getting rid of the 360. So whatever game, box we get, we're going to put it into its own, we're not having to remove something to put something else in. So we have to actually needed to get a receiver that had more inputs because we are not getting rid of any of our consoles. But we have the PlayStation 2 still hooked up, which is pointless because we have the PlayStation 3 hooked up, and it's the first-gen PlayStation 3, so it's got the 2 chips, so I don't need it.
Okay. Although
we're just going to move it downstairs.
Look worse if you do the backwards compatible on PS3. So.
They're PlayStation 2 games. They're going to look bad no matter what. It's a question of shit or shitty shit. Who cares? But we're moving the PlayStation. That's another question. Goalie, what was your first console?
Oh boy, I had a Commodore 64.
Do you still have it?
Oh no.
Did you get an Xbox One? I mean, I should say an Xbox, original Xbox.
I had, let me just get on my list. I had Commodore 64. Oh, no, when I was a kid, I had a Sears Pong. Okay. And then I had a Atari 2600. I had Intellivision. Then I think we got the Commodore 64. Then I think I had Nintendo. I might have had a Super Nintendo for a little bit, and then I got rid of it. And then PlayStation 1. And then I had to make a decision either PS2 or Xbox, and I went with Xbox because I liked that they had the hard drive. And then I just stayed with Xbox and the 360.
Okay.
So that's what I had.
Did you get rid of your original Xbox?
It failed. I think I don't know if I threw it out or not. I think I did. I did have it here, but I couldn't get anything to work on it.
Did you keep your original PS1?
I think so. Okay.
Because that's where we are right now. That my first console was a PS2, and then I bought a 360 and a PS3, and we still have our original Commodore from when Kevin does. I think it's actually my screen, and it's his Commodore, and I think my parents still have the Commodore somewhere. But we're realizing, do we want to keep the PS2? And it works fine, but do we want to keep that PS2? Or do we want to get rid of it? Because it doesn't really have much value, but you kind of want to stick it downstairs and not get rid of it because who knows, in 60 years, conceivably, I might last another 40, 50 years. It might actually be worth something.
Maybe.
And it's like, all right, well, when I stop using the 360, do I sell the 360? Do I keep it? And how we moved the original Wii out, and there was no question. I'm like, we're selling the Wii. Kevin's like, well, you're going to keep the PS2 to put into we call it the archive, but you're getting rid of the Wii. Why wouldn't you put the Wii in the archive? It's like, fuck, I don't really care about the Wii. So,
do you care about GameCube?
I never had a GameCube.
Okay.
Yeah, PS2 was my first console. I went from Commodore 64 when I was a kid to college and didn't play games, and then came back out and then got a PS2 many years after college. Didn't really even get into gaming because I was we were doing PC gaming. But Kevin has all of our old Apples, back through the G4 days. I've got the original Macintosh laptop, the big gray brick. So we've kind of held on to all of our old technology, but there's a part of me saying, should we really be holding on to this old technology? Or are we really just lugging around tons of excess electronic waste that's pointless to keep around? No, I did not keep my Wii. Sorry. I tried to sell the Wii. I kept the controllers, but I was going to sell the Wii in its original box, all the stuff with it except the controllers. Plus I added Silent Hill and Boom Blocks in addition to the Wii Sports. And I had a wireless, still on the box, wireless motion bar. And I bundled the whole thing for $50, and no one bought it.
I sold my Wii. I think we got $100 for it.
Yeah, good deal, because can't even get that now.
I suddenly had renewed interest in my Wii because since the Wii U isn't backwards compatible with GameCube games, I feel like, I want to play Killer 7 and Eternal Darkness, which were GameCube games. And I feel like my window to play those is closing since the console. I never had a GameCube, but I have a Wii. And if I get a Wii U, suddenly, like, I'll have to keep the Wii hooked up to play GameCube games. I feel like my window for playing these games is closing. And soon, if I upgrade, I won't ever be able to play them again.
Right. It's your last bastion of
so it's
gaming,
like,
old-fashioned gaming.
I'm going to buy Killer 7 and Eternal Darkness and check them out.
So AC Wraith says he has a VIC-20, NES, PS1, Saturn, Dreamcast, PS2, Xbox, plus various components. Now, AC Wraith, did you keep them all, or did you sell any of them, or toss them? Because I actually have, believe it or not, I have an original first gen 360 that hasn't red ringed.
Really?
Yes. I have one of those original chipsets that's still working, which I'm kind of proud of. I got crazy lucky on that one. I have, knock on wood, yet to red ring. Oh, I'm so scared saying that.
You're going to turn it on now.
I know. I'm not still using that one. That one's in Kevin's room. The other one is not the original chips. But I know that this one can just as easily red ring as the other ones. You know, it really doesn't matter. It's a matter of degree. It's like the other one was almost certain to red ring. This one was sort of certain to red ring.
I like the how you solve that is wrap it up in blankets, let it overheat, and bake itself. Well, that's all you got to do. Let me get you the tier 2 support.
Yep.
I think the only game console I ever sold was a Game Boy and all of its games, and I specifically remember going to Funko Land, selling the Game Boy and all the games, so that I could buy Truck Dinosaur Hunter.
Oh, Jesus.
The Nintendo 64.
Oh! Wow, that was a bad deal. No bueno.
I was too young to know better.
Yeah, well, you know.
And besides, I wasn't playing the Game Boy anyways. I had a Game Gear, and Game Gear was in color, so it was better.
I actually have a Game Boy Color that Kevin bought for me at a garage sale, and I don't have any games for it, but it's never been turned on. But I have a Game Boy Color somewhere, just stuffed in a box. I think I came across it. It's like, should I sell it? Nah, it doesn't take up much space. We'll hold on to it.
Oh God, Blackstreet Boys still has the HD DVD drive.
That's right. Wait a minute. Was that were you the one with the HD DVD that was broken and it's like took them 2.5 years to finally fix it? And they fixed it after the point when they had discontinued the HD DVD drives? Because one of our listeners did that, where it was literally, I remember Hawks and I actually tried on behalf of this listener to try and get them to actually make good on replacing and fixing that, because it was a year of phone calls and emails back and forth. Yes, that was you. So does that HD DVD drive actually work now? Because I remember Hawk and I actually got involved and tried to get a hold of people. I think we got a hold of Major Nelson and said, dude, this is not okay. One of our listeners has a situation. We actually went through Major Nelson to get it replaced. And they replaced it. That's hilarious. Yeah, hold on to that HD DVD drive. That thing might be worth something someday.
Yeah, Indiana Jones will go after it. It belongs in a museum.
Oh, speaking of belongs in a museum, you know what I bought this week on eBay of all places?
What?
For like $5. I bought Too Human and still in package.
Oh my God! Bullshit!
No, they're like...
I bought a copy of Too Human from Amazon like a week ago for $20.
Yeah, they're like $5 on eBay. I got one. And I remember you being so excited about that. And it's like, no, they're like $5, dude. I thought you got it cheaper than that.
Oh no.
No, I think it was $6.25 with shipping.
So wait, did I tell you that I bought it?
Yes, that's why it's like, you know what? I wonder. I really should pick up a copy. There should be one, and there's people still selling them out there.
I thought it was just a random. Hey, look, we both bought the same game at the same time. For some dumb reason.
Yeah, no. I made a point of betting one that was unopened. Blackstreet Void says he has Too Human, but you probably still have it. Had it opened, you probably played it. I'm not going to play. No, I'm not playing Too Human. That thing's staying sealed.
Yeah,
that's going in a dark box.
I know. I was talking to M Hawk and he really loves that game. And we were talking about how much he's played it. You guess how long he's played it.
Oh God, I don't even want to guess. If he really loved it, 15 hours.
No.
Oh God, 40 hours.
Closer.
50 hours.
With one character, he said he had 60 hours.
Oh my God.
With another character, he had another 20.
He's played 80 hours of that game. Well, it wasn't ever considered a bad game, was it? It just was tied.
No, I think it was.
Was it? Yeah, I just knew that it's notorious because it was tied up in the whole what's a bucket? The engine
lawsuit.
Yeah, the lawsuit, the epic lawsuit.
I mean, I've never played it, so I don't know how good it is, but I also don't have any desire to play it.
Yeah, me either. Wonder if you can you rent it from GameFly, or do they pull it off the shelves at GameFly?
I'm sure you can rent it. Actually, I'm going to check that out.
I don't know, because everybody was ordered to destroy copies. Wouldn't you think that the rental companies?
Well, I think they're all to destroy. I don't think they destroy copies. They can't make new ones.
Oh, okay. It wasn't. See, I thought they were told to pull them off the shelves and not sell any new ones.
Oh yeah, you can rent it.
Okay. So Goalie, what's new with you? You're really quiet.
This is the worst show ever.
We're trying.
Talking about
I hung up,
games.
came back like 5 times.
You just can't be happy.
Yeah, he's
want
just in a pissy mood because he's mad about Xbox One. He's not. This is not going to get better until E3. Seriously, not going to get. Oh, speaking of E3, Nick.
Oh, video game talks? Wait, hang on a sec. Hang on. Let me call someone. We're talking video games.
We've been talking video games for the last 20 minutes, fucker.
I know.
Where have you been? Too Human is a video game.
He's been watching TV.
We've been talking about the PS1.
I thought it was like a episode of Arrested Development or something.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, E3's,
have you guys had a ball yet?
E3's coming up, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Piss Boy wants us to come down because I don't have any invites this year. I didn't actually try to get any invites for any of the like Microsoft or Sony or anything, and it's too. I could probably try and do it, but I don't want to do it. But the Ouya is going to be available. There's always stuff going on, right? But more importantly, Steve-O wants to know if you want to come down and we can do tacos down in Los Angeles. Do a taco eat off. Just eat ourselves silly on tacos. And Piss Boy knows all the good taco places.
When is E3?
When is E3? June 11th, 12th, 13th, in that range. Dave the Tech is asking, are you going to E3? No, we are not going to E3. I went before Nick. I think you weren't even on the show.
No, it was good old days.
Yeah, in the good old days. We were summarily not allowed to come back to E3. Not for anything that we did, but our numbers aren't big enough. When they started changing the numbers about 2 years ago to require Alexa numbers of the website to be super, 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 super high. And we have great numbers on our downloads of the show, but that's all through iTunes. It doesn't go through the website, so they wouldn't let us in. They need to have, you need to be big. In fact, I think only this year that Lefty has gotten in through just the normal means instead of trying to do, I don't want to say backdoor ways, but trying to essentially get permissions going up the ladder of permissions to try and get in. And only reason why is because did you see that their little Xbox thing that Xbox did for them about gaming together? They spotlighted them, and of course, obviously now because of that, they're going this year. I can't imagine they wouldn't be. That they wouldn't get into E3, even though they're being freaking spotlighted by Xbox themselves. But if you're listening in the chat room, look up on YouTube under Xbox for Xbox married gamers. And you will see a little, and it's made by Xbox. It was actually filmed at PAX this last year. them talking about how games have brought them together as a as a couple. It's actually really cool. It's kind of neat to see them being on a commercial. So they made an Xbox commercial. But I guess that they're going this year. But I haven't been in what, 3 years, 4 years? 3 years. I haven't been in 3 years. Did you watch the whole thing, Goalie? It's really sweet.
I did actually, yeah. She had it on her Facebook. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're not that important. Our gaming hasn't brought our relationship together, so we don't count. Goalie, are you even going to try, or do you want to just hang up? What do you want to talk about, Goalie? It's the Goalie endings. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about rabbits.
Rabbits? Bunnies.
Well, it's not TV.
I want to talk about the rabbit that was born on my lawn last night.
Yeah. Goalie's a bunny daddy now.
I got a panic phone call from the wife. Hey, what do I do? What happened? She was cooking on the grill, so I thought the grill blew up. I'm like, okay, what happened? Oh, a rabbit gave birth on our front lawn. And I don't know what to do. The rabbits are there, and the mother took off, and the rabbits are sitting. And see, all the crows are flying around the newborn. So she's shooing away the crows. I can picture her.
Yeah, once you touch a baby bunny of a wild rabbit, the rabbit won't take it. In fact, if she'd have let the mother near, the rabbit would have killed the baby.
Yeah, so she scooped it up, put it in a box, went to a friend's house. They went to Petco. They bought a cage and milk and all this other stuff and brought it to somebody's house who's supposed to be nursing it back to health. It's like, man.
AC Ray says The Night of the Rabbit just came out on Steam. There you go.
What is
I'll
that
have to check
game?
it out.
I have no idea. Oh, The Night of the Rabbit, it's mixing Alice and something else. Shit. I read about it and went in one ear and went out the other. Dave the Tech says, I like the fact that PAX East and Prime is open to the public. Yeah, and that's why they're growing to international. I mean, they're growing leaps and bounds. They sell out instantly.
Yeah, they sell out fast. And
remember in the old days that you could buy a ticket pretty much right up until the day you got there?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
E3 has definitely gone corporate. They have more announcements there, but it's not a friendly thing. It's very corporate. It's people that are just there reporting. It's
cold industry. That's all it is. Cold industry.
Yeah, PAX. It's like it's the indie developers, and they're happy to show off their stuff, and you can touch stuff, and you can watch, and you can talk to people, and it's generally it's a carnival. AC
Wraith says Night of the Rabbit is an adventure game, point and click. I think.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to, see, the Piss Boy brought up some really good stuff about Steam when we were talking about all the new consoles and all this other stuff. Because, I mean, you really got to work hard to buy something full price off of Steam. You can always find a deal.
Yeah.
You put it in your wish list and you get a notice, hey, something in your wish list is on sale. And, that's, so you don't mind. Again, if you're paying less than full price and like I said, you buy something on Steam, there's nothing you can do with it. It's yours.
Right.
And you can't trade it in, you can't get any money back. So, but when you're not paying $60, you're not too upset with that.
Right. But that's also Steam. Do we know how profitable Steam is? Is it actually making money?
Yes.
I don't know. I would imagine
that's why Valve has not released Half-Life 3. They're like Blizzard. They don't need to put out games.
Really? Are they making that much money off of Steam?
It's their hobby. Like, games are their hobby. Yeah. Steam is, like, great for them.
Yeah.
Same with, I know the developer of The Witcher also has a digital distribution service. I think they sold it, but they sold it for a ton of money. And it was great for them.
Yeah.
I think it was like a European one.
You actually do make a good point. Why haven't we seen Left 4 Dead 3? Because they don't need to do Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
But wow.
They can have it wait.
Coley, what if Left 4 Dead 3 was exclusive on the Xbox One?
I didn't like 2.
You're right. I didn't either. We should play Left 4 Dead this week. What do you say? I really need a good night of just group gaming.
Oh man, that's right.
I
actually have
drunk.
that.
We need to get drunk and do that. I can do that
Speaking
tonight.
of getting drunk, there is a drunk cast coming up for the married gamers, and I'm joining it, and we're all getting incredibly drunk and asking each other very inappropriate questions. And I have to figure out the date. I forget. It's like the 20. I want to say it's the 31st. Hold on a second. Drunk cast. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just carry on. Talk amongst yourselves. Lefty. There you go, Chris Brown.
I think one of the good things about Steam games too is that they diminish in price, over time.
Yeah.
And
quickly, too.
Other games do that too. Like, you can wait a month in a $60 game. You can buy it on Amazon for $30. But I think the real scary possibility with the whole used game fee is that probably will never go down in price. Like the on-demand games on Xbox Live, those are always still way overpriced.
Yeah. Oh, God,
And
yes.
so the idea that not only will used games not be less, but games might diminish in price slower, if at all.
Right.
That's the kind of scary thing.
Yeah.
Like, to buy a game a year after and still pay $60. I can see publishers loving that, but for consumers, it's
going to be more.
You'll just buy less games.
More dicks in your ass, pretty much.
Oh, I saw that on the show.
I can only have so many dicks in my ass at once.
Right. So the Married Gamers Drinktacular, which is going to have a whole lot of people. It's going to have me. It's going to have, I know, some of the, at least Elaine from some other podcast at the very minimum. God, who else? A ton of other people. And we're all going to be drinking and with the intent of getting drunk. And that's going to be on May 31st, Friday night. It's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. We are all going to be starting to drink on Friday night and not stop until we're drunk. And we're going to be asking questions to each other that are like, have you ever questions that we are going to pose to each other? Like, have you ever podcast naked? Have you
right now?
Yeah. Well, who hasn't? Have you ever? Have you?
Chair.
Have you? Are you really truly naked right now? Seriously, honestly.
No.
Okay. I know someone who did podcast naked.
If I had to connect, I never would do that with a connect now. I would never get naked.
Yeah, I
don't know. If I had to connect, I'd always be naked.
I had a former co-host that would always he was always nude and would always podcast naked. Pantsless podcasting, as he called it. But yeah, and I know that, and he would talk about that, and I didn't think it was true. But then he house sat for me while we went. I think we were in Europe for like a month, and he house sat for us, and so we hooked up webcams just to make sure that if anything happened, that we'd have a recording of it. And we went back and looked at the webcam, and there he was, sitting in Kevin's chair, surfing the net. Naked.
Bare ass.
Yeah, on Kevin's chair, which was like, we didn't need to see that. Oh, God damn it. So, of course, we went out and disinfected the chair.
So you're basically your own connect. You were snooping on a webcam.
I was snooping in my own house. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Boy.
Wouldn't you do the same thing? Somebody house sitting for you for a month?
Yeah, I might. I don't know. It depends.
But I do have nude videos of this person who, just in case, you never know. Those things might actually be useful sometime. But anyway, so if you want to find out more about it's the Married Gamers episode 300, their Drinktacular, you can find out more information by going to themarriedgamers.net.
It's got to be Saturday night. Friday nights are no good. I work on Saturday morning.
Sorry, dude.
So, I mean, doesn't everybody do something on Saturday? I mean, Saturday night's the night to do it, not Friday night.
I think that there were too many people that they had already asked that they couldn't do it Saturday night because they already had arrangements.
Well, then count me out.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sick of this. I'm just getting bumped out of my own everything.
Oh. No, sorry.
I don't feel part of this.
Well, it's most people don't work Saturday mornings, so that's always. And I had the same problem when I worked in the airlines. My weekends were Wednesday, Thursday. How awesome was that?
Yeah, I know.
We did not burn the chair, Void. We sterilized it, but we did not burn it. All right, so we might as well shut this down. Oh, one last thing. Did you happen to notice that on YouTube, since Xbox put up their Xbox One reveal and all their Xbox One ads, I guess they were getting so flamed in the comment sections that they've turned off all the comments for all of their videos.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
on YouTube.
Oh man, they're taking a beating. It's too bad. They probably thought they had the best thing since sliced bread. They're probably sitting there in their little Xbox room in their Xbox chairs going, man, people are going to love this. And look at all this stuff that we're doing. And we're expanding the TV thing and the Kinect thing. And, oh, man, they're high-fiving each other and drinking champagne. And then they roll this out. It's just a kick in the ass.
Yeah. They've got to be reassessing.
But you wonder, though. You are they reassessing? Or are they so pig-headed that it's just like, you know something? We're just going to go forward with this and you're going to like it.
They're reassessing because if they're going so far as to turn off all the comments on all their videos on YouTube, then they're recognizing that there is so much hate going on out there that they need to fix it.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that they're not confirming anything about, used games, online connection, or things like that.
Or that people are contradicting each other.
Yeah, the fact that they're contradicting each other, I think, shows that they haven't decided anything yet.
Right, that they had decided and then immediately undecided their decision.
Well, that's the other thing is how far along are they in this technology for the new system? Okay, how far along are they? That could they make major changes to some of these things that they're talking about? Okay, do they still have time? Can they push it back?
I forget where I read it. But there was a rumor that Microsoft was basically like 6 months behind their projected schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, like this technology, everything they have set up is 6 months behind. And so they're rushing and they're frantically scrambling to finish the Xbox One. Like think of it as crunch time on a game that's like 6 months behind.
Right, but what I'm saying now is, are they going to have a stop the presses moment?
No, they aren't going to have a stop the presses moment. But I think that there's definitely looking at what they can change and still hit a release date of this year, and that would make it less odious to people. Like, if they'd heard all of this before a lot of stuff was laid in stone, they might have rethought it. But now they're actually having to look to see what can they fix to make it better. Like, oh, well, we can not charge for this or not charge for multiple people using it. Or what is our technological capabilities of being able to not do what we had originally thought we were going to do. So
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I think a lot of this is going to be patchwork until the very end, because they're still trying to figure out what they can make to make things better, and still not that they still can actually change. That's not set in stone.
Yeah. To answer Jason Webb, he asked if Microsoft being less friendly toward indie developers turns you away from the Xbox.
Yes.
Does it matter?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It turns me away because I think some of the best games of this whole console generation have been downloadable games.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the major decision. If I have a choice of if Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are completely equal in every way, and there's no upside downside to either, then I will choose an Xbox. If the only difference is that there's better indie developers on the PlayStation 4, I probably will still choose Xbox. But if Xbox gives me enough reasons, as they so far already have, to not consider Xbox, then I'm probably going to go for PlayStation 4.
I agree with what you just said there, that the indie thing is, everything being equal, the indie thing is not going to make me not buy or buy. Right. It's just not that big of a deal to me.
But it does. It will be in the back of my head. It's like, God damn it.
But if it's one of these things, it's got this and I don't like that, PlayStation doesn't have this, and or Xbox doesn't do this and PlayStation does. That comes into the weighing out of the scales. It really does.
Right.
But it's not a major driving factor.
Yeah, it's not a driving factor in making me a decision to buy, but it will make my decision a whole lot better if I already decided that one. It'll make me feel better. Because it does. I think Nick's right that a lot of the indie games are the ones that I have found in many ways most satisfying because I didn't expect them to be that good. And when you find one of those gems, when you find that buck, like Airport Anarchy, when you find that buck, it's like, wow, this is awesome. And it was only cost me $1. I like this game. And you want to go back and play it again because it has good feelings. And you're supporting a small environment, small developers, which makes me happy as well. It fills a different need than the need to play a big AAA title. And have you also heard about the Twitter efforts to try to get Sony to recognize what a huge mistake that Microsoft has made with the Xbox One in regard to DRM and used games?
Yeah.
Yeah, it started out in the Neo GAF forums that they're trying to communicate with key Sony personnel via Twitter by making pleas of please do not don't keep us out of used games. Please don't put DRM on there. We want to choose you. Don't take advantage of what mistakes Microsoft has already made and this is what we want. And they're trying to do it with the hashtags of hashtag PS4 no DRM and hashtag PS4 used games. And from what I have heard in other, stories varied around the web, is that actually Sony executives are seeing it and they're listening.
They responded, but they responded in a way that's like, this is why it's great to see that PlayStation fans are so passionate. In a way that it's like they could do anything. And that's what I've heard on people talk about podcasts is that all the negativity to Microsoft is sort of gaining Sony good press, like almost by default.
Right.
But Sony hasn't mentioned anything about used games, and there's no guarantee that they'll be any better. People are just getting angry at Microsoft because they're the first ones to sort of show their hand, and their hand's not that good. There's just hope, like blind hope, that Sony's hand is better.
Here's a question. Who do you think is more responsive to the no used games announcement? Because I think that there's going to probably be very similar things, both Sony and PlayStation. Sony and Microsoft. Who do you think is watching and is going to be responding to these negative ads more? Microsoft or Sony?
I think Sony. Because
they're in the position to actually do that because they haven't tipped their hand. But everybody knows what they've got in their hand is very something, if not exactly the same as Microsoft, pretty similar.
Well, I think Sony's in a position to listen because, the press conference was all kind of about, hey, we know we made some mistakes with the PS3, but the PS4 fixes all that. It's this idea that Sony has to make up for the PS4. Hey, it's easier to... They won't be $600. It'll be easier to develop for, and things like that. So I think they're in a kind of reconciliation mode, whereas Microsoft is in a, riding high on the confidence mode.
Right. I don't know. There's a part of me that says Sony is very notorious for hearing the audience and completely ignoring them. Whereas Microsoft is not, similar, but not as bad. Or do you disagree with that? Do you think that Sony is much more responsive to hearing what the audience says?
I don't know if either of them really have a history of doing any of that. If anything, history has just shown Microsoft actually being ahead of the curve tech-wise and Sony playing catch-up through the whole generation.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of listening to consumers, I have no idea.
I think I get just always had a feeling, but then again, it might be because I'm in North America and not Japan. There's a lot. Sony has a lot more masters that it kind of has to jump for. because it's just to keep the North American market happy, but it also has a significant market in Japan, which is very, very different kind of game players than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has pretty well written off Japan, written off Asia, especially with the whole sports thing. It's like, we don't really sell much over there, and fuck you, we don't need to. We're just going to stick with this homogenous group of gamers that like these kind of games instead of, your crazy Japanese, like, jump up and down and see how many hot dogs you can eat at one time games. Let's see. Sony doesn't have to beat Microsoft right now. They just have to survive without making more mistakes that are strategically fatal. Maybe. Sony definitely is doing more by saying less.
Mm-hmm. Although that could really come and backfire on them if when they say something, they don't say what people want them to say.
Right. I think they're not going to. I think that under that Gully, you're not going to be any happier with Sony.
No.
When they finally come out with what they have under their belt.
Well, it's going to be different because I had a friend of mine I was talking to who's big into Xbox, and he said he had a PS3 and he got rid of it because it was so inferior to Xbox and blah 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 blah. But then in the next breath, he says he loves all the TV stuff. He says, I got a Xbox in my bathroom, and I can watch TV in my bathroom. And I'm like, well,
see, that's their market they're going for.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm not their market.
They're going for the bathroom watchers.
Yeah,
the bathroom gamers.
They're going for the shitters, So maybe I'm becoming more of a PS guy than I am an Xbox guy.
We'll see.
We'll find out. So, I mean, I'm not saying that PS4 the sun's going to shine on me. It's going to be unbelievable because there's a reason I did go to Xbox. But I think PS3 has learned from the Xbox 360 on some things that they need to do, and if they can do it better or as good as the 360, I mean, I love my 360, love it. I just don't want to. I want a video game system.
Yeah.
I don't want a camera staring at me all the time. I don't want to have a camera staring at me when I play a game. It's going to watch my face and see my movements and see where my eyes are going. I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like that at all. That really creeps me out. It gives me the skeeves.
Yeah, it does too. It does me too.
And then just to know that it's mandatory. I don't like things that are mandatory. You have to do this even if you don't like it.
I think that's also one of those things that they're looking at because they've got entire countries that are kind of concerned about the whole home surveillance device. That the fact that it can't be turned off or can it be turned off. And they probably can't change much about the hardware, but they can change something about the software. I'm sure there's somebody in an office somewhere saying, what can we do to not have people freak out about this camera in their home?
Yeah. Just
don't tell them it's on.
I know
that makes it better.
But see, if that was optional, if that was like right now, I have my 360 and I don't have a Kinect. If it's optional, okay. If it was optional, if they said, look, it comes with a Kinect camera, you can or cannot plug it in. It is your choice. Or maybe you have to put it in to initialize it. Then you can unplug it and throw it away. That is a good thing. That is a step in the right direction.
I think that's probably a little bit more hardware related. That's something they can't backtrack.
But even if I point it at the ceiling, the microphone's still going to be on.
Yep.
And it's going to pick me up.
Yep.
And that's not sitting well with me at all.
Doesn't sit well with a lot of people. So we should probably shut this down. But before we do, I want to hand out 3 codes for Tower of Elements from Frog Dice. They were nice enough to offer these codes for us. Go knock yourself out. Now, you have to go to their website in order to download Tower of Elements. You can go to them by going to toe, that's TOE, .frogdice, that's FROGDICE.com. And our 3 codes are going to be as follows. And all you have to do is enter that one of these 3 codes. If you enter it and you don't get something back, it means that somebody's already redeemed it. So first come, first serve. Here are your codes. CH. Start that over.
How do you type that?
Yeah, I know. I don't think my keyboard has that character.
Yeah, that's when you need to connect. 4, 3.
All right, start that again. CHCV 014MH. Next one is CHCV 022OG. And the third one is CHCV 030DQ, as in Dairy Queen.
No way, that's a combination of my luggage.
All right. So until next week, don't forget, we always forget to pimp our regular show. We do have a regular show that is not quite so like laid back and stuff. And that can be found at gamehounds.net. That is our regular. Or you can also go to the iTunes page, go to Gamehounds. We have 222, well, up next week will be 222 episodes of essentially the last 5 years of video game history is all archived there. But we do a show once a week that is much more organized and about what we play and much more on track as far as news and commentary. And that can be found at gamehounds.net or go to iTunes under the name Gamehounds. You can also, don't forget to come back next week because we will be here next week, next Wednesday. We start at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We do this right after we do our regular show. Wow. Gully, you want to close this out? All of a sudden, I got a frog.
Holy, just swallow.
I can't.
Just yes, you can.
That's a frog dice in my throat.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
No, just finish it.
God. No, just swallow. Just swallow.
I can't. I'm choking. Will you just end the show?
Hang on a sec. I gotta light a cigarette.
Fuck you and end the show. God damn it.
What do we end the show?
My throat has just finally gotten just done after talking all this time.
That's going to be my new ringtone.
Fuck you.
Oh, I'm choking.
All right. Because Goalie let me down again.
All right.
I'll just remember that. You don't got my back. You just don't have my back. I thought you did. But no.
Like
and
that.
Nick's just over there hiding in the corner like the girl who can't pick up the gun while she's fighting with the guy.
You didn't go there. You didn't go with the girl. I can't pick up the gun.
I can't pick up the gun. Oh, you dropped the gun. Now you're fighting with the bad guy. I'm just going to stand here in the corner and be scared. Hit him again, honey.
Is the safety on? I might accidentally shoot myself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Such a dick. All right.
It was kind of funny, though. You close.
It just went down the wrong way, and I was choking. You dick. My throat is just done.
I'm experiencing this.
Fuck you, Dad. I am. Just never mind.
You'll be okay.
You guys,
I apologize. Here's a towel.
I'm sorry. One of my co-hosts is a 13-year-old boy.
Oh.
The other one is a total girl right now.
Oh, Nick, she's talking about you twice.
Yes, you're the damsel in fucking distress. Help me.
Oh, it's 100 minutes.
That's true.
That's true. 92 minutes. 92 minutes. 90 minutes almost exactly.
That's what it is. We've been going at this all day, and I didn't get much sleep, so we start getting a little crazy here, and Edie can't swallow properly.
Yes, Edie, this is all your fault for not ending the show sooner, before the magic minute.
All right. Well, I've learned my lesson now. Never go past 90 minutes.
Yep.
All right. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week.
No,
I'm cutting this off.
We are just beginning. We're
not. We are ending. No.
The podcast is too big to swallow.
We are leaving now. See you later, guys. Bye.